Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard the Starship Arborea. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time, once again, for Talk O Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. Before we get started with today's video, oh my god, is fourth wall breaking absolutely necessary? Yesterday, I put out a video of ground combat in support of the community goal that we're going to be talking about in today's article. And at one point in the video, I said that ground CZs don't seem to count for toward the community goal, but they actually do. It helps. This is just a piece of friendly advice. It helps that if you turn in your bounties to the correct station. Guess who is not turning their bounties into the correct station? That's right. So, a little bit of a mix-up there. I promise you guys that I actually do play this game, just sometimes I get it wrong. Actually, most of the time I get it wrong. Always assume that what I am saying is wrong. Actually, don't do that. Let's just give me a little bit of grace. Always, when you watch a video of mine, if the first line in the description, if it says editor's note, I've made a mistake in the video, and that's how I usually will fix them. But in the video, in my defense, I did say that, I wasn't sure. It didn't seem to be updating for me. It apparently is. Just make sure that you're turning in your combat bonds to the correct location when you return from your combat activities, and you should get the bonds and the community goal contribution that you signed up for. Make sure you signed up for the right side and that you're turning in stuff. And hello, everybody, and welcome. So, we're going to be talking today. This article is a couple of days old, so some of the material we're going to be going over has already been happening for a while. People are heavily invested in one side or the other, but we're still going to talk about it because it's very important, because it involves my beloved Emperor, and you should be fighting for the Empire because, Archon Delaine likes to say that if you're not part of the Kumo Crew, then you're nobody. If you're not fighting for the Empire, then you're fighting for nobody. Let's get started with Delaine Retribution. But what could it be Retribution for? Let's talk about it. It says an Imperial strike force has launched a surprise assault against the Archon Delaine flagship, the Mictlan, in what many are calling a long-awaited act of retribution. And it's funny because this is real. This one seems a lot like a Pride retribution kind of thing. Like, Archon Delaine is he's a big smack talker. And so all this smack talking has suddenly brought about the wrath of the Empire. Now, there's a specific reason for that. The offensive took place in the Beta 3 Tucani system. Get your Corsair to the Tucani system. Hope you guys got that. Where Delaine is believed to have attended a gathering of notorious underworld figures. El Presidente was not among those notorious underworld figures, just in case you're wondering. Witnesses report intense fighting around the Mictlan, with Imperial vessels engaging both the pirate dreadnought and its escorts. So if you're new to the world of Elite Dangerous, Archon Delaine is the pirate king. He is this godlike figure that runs the Kumo Crew, the pirates. And this is a pirate dreadnought. This is the mothership that controls the Kumo Crew and all this. So this is a big deal. The fact that we've launched an assault against the core of Delaine's activities in the bubble is a big deal. The Empire tends to take matters like these very seriously, and they will devote resources, but the level of resources being levied against the Kumo Crew is really impressive, especially even for the Empire at this point in time, where they're trying to recover from the Thargoid War and they've still got millions of refugees that are in stasis and in containment that were captured by the Thargoids. So there's a lot of military resources being spent in many different directions, and then we've got this going on. Casualty reports are unconfirmed, but several pirate-affiliated ships were destroyed or forced to flee. Yes, apparently it was a big surprise to them that the Empire would levy such devastating force against them. So several vessels were destroyed. I would assume that there's been casualties. Yours truly took out a few pirates last night. in ground combat. So there is fighting going on everywhere, in space, on the ground. It's just crazy in that system right now. A brief statement from Emperor Arissa's spokesman confirmed Imperial involvement. Let this serve as an answer to the provocations of August last year. Those who threaten the Emperor or her citizens will be dealt with using proportionate force. And, you know, I get it. It's a sensitive subject at times, but there has to be a show of force for these kind of threats. You cannot, it's okay to say, hey, I don't like this leader or this, that, and or have your opinions speaking out publicly about an opposing political party or whatever. But when you stoop to the point of threatening violence or wishing death and encouraging hostile actions against the ruling party, like in this case, the Empire, where there have been several incidents in the last couple of years, which are pretty much straight up assassination attempts, the Empire has to do something. They have to do something to assert their authority and to remind people that there is a line. There has to be a line. You can't just go around letting everyone do whatever they want to because it feels good. There has to be a no-kidding line that people are set to where they say, you know what, you can say this, but if you say this because it's a threat, like it actually says we want this to happen, or in the case of Archon Delaine, what they think is happening is he's working with these other clandestine organizations, maybe providing them funding or logistic support or any kind of information support, whatever it is. That's not protected speech, man. That's aiding and abetting. And I think that's kind of what's going on here. And I'm, I don't wish death and destruction on anybody, but I do appreciate a good show of force in reminding people that there is a line, you cross it, and there will be consequences for that. The attack appears to be a response to Archon Delaine's boasts following previous assassination attempts on Emperor Arissa and Shadow President Jerome Archer in August of last year. Analysts have noted the precision of the strikes suggests long-term infiltration and planning by Imperial intelligence. Usually, when these kind of things kick off, when you have these massive attacks on from the superpowers onto these kind of minor factions, and that's not saying the Kumo Crew is like a minor faction. They are a pretty good sized organization with a storied history. Most of the time, by the time it happens, it's been in the works for a very long time. This is not like Emperor Arissa did not wake up one day and just say, you know what, I'm going to bomb the Kumo Crew. Like, that did not happen. She probably woke up one day and said, I'm going to bomb the Kumo Crew. Hey, you, and pointed to some dude and said, you make this happen. And that was years ago. And so the Empire's been like putting people in place to make sure that it was something they could do, one, and something they needed to do. Because there's always the possibility that maybe this action is not something we need to take. Is there a better way that doesn't expend military resources, that doesn't cost us manpower, potential civilian casualties? There's all these things that have to be evaluated for the this area of responsibility and casualties of war, the scope of war, and all this stuff. So the Kumo Council broadcast released hours later claimed that we expected a response. What we didn't expect was how long it took. The Empire's blade is sharp but slow. The next move is ours. That statement reeks of desperation. It really does. It's a statement where you don't have anything to say, and you just kind of call your opponent old and fat. Like, your opponent punches you in the face, and you're like, well, you're fat and stupid. Like, that's what this is, and it's really funny because the Kumo Council, they've been doing piracy for a while. This isn't new to them. And they should know that not everything moves swiftly, and that especially with the larger bureaucracies, they should have been weary of a prolonged time and infiltration. They should have been looking. To think that the Empire was just going to sit back and do nothing forever, yeah, that is a huge fail on the part of the council, and I'm kind of surprised that that they went that way. But expecting a response, saying it's slow, man, that's just That's just basic insulting your adversary. No good, not good. Says security analysts now warn that more open conflict between Imperial and Kumo Council forces may follow. You think? You think? This is a war. And the problem with something like this is Archon Delaine and Arissa Lavini Duval, they are very strict A-type personalities. They are headstrong and will fight to the death, both of them. And so what you have are two A-type class 1 personalities that are just going at each other. And there's going to have to be somebody stepping in, and I swear to God, I can't stand her, but it's going to be the princess. You just watch. It's going to be the princess to step in and kind of put an end to everything, because I don't see the two sides reaching kind of a peace agreement on their own. There's going to have to be something more. Otherwise, it's going to be back and forth, boom, boom, boom. And in this case, this is what we've got going on now. You've got interstellar battles going on in conflict zones and on-the-ground stuff in conflict zones as well. It says Delaine is said to be furious at the attack and has directed the Mictlan to lead an assault on Imperial forces in Beta 3 Tucani. So it says pilots seeking to aid the Emperor's fleet can register support at Bakewell platform, that is a Coriolis. Delaine's Kumo Council are summoning supporters to the Mictlan megaship. I think that's where you can sign up. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. This is crazy. This is crazy. You know, and I had talked in a video, I think I mentioned it in my video yesterday, where we're seeing a lot more of this. Some old grudges that have kind of been put off to the side for a while are starting to come back. A lot of internal politics and stuff. You know, the Empire doesn't like this person and the Alliance doesn't like this person. We recently had Sirius kicked out of the Alliance's coordination with their military and stuff. So there's a lot of things that have kind of been building up that we're starting to see come to fruition as far as these in-system conflicts. There's a lot of conflict between these minor powers and the superpowers, and it's really fascinating, and it'll be really interesting to see where this goes over time, because what we're seeing is this post-war prosperity time where we have the colonization and the expansion of the bubble. We're also seeing post-war conflict, these minor skirmishes that are actually pretty typical of what we call peacetime after a major conflict. And so it'll be really, really something to see over time where this goes. My money is on Kumo Crew getting crushed. I would not be surprised if Delaine is about to be sunset from this or take on some kind of a different role, because the Kumo Crew, nope, man, it's coming. It's coming. Now with the Empire coming down on them and the possibility that, you know, if the Federation gets involved in this as well, they may find that there is no safe haven. Hey, everybody, if you would like to support the work I do on this channel, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, make sure notifications are turned on so that you don't miss any of the Elite Dangerous content that I create on this channel. I typically do Let's Plays on Mondays. I do Taco Tuesday on Tuesdays, obviously, if there's something to talk about. And then I have Out There every other Saturday. And then, you know, special stuff throughout the week as if I get to it. But you can also go to commanderexorcist.tv/support, pledge your support to help the channel, and you get access to early access to videos and some other stuff, and Discord community and all that cool stuff. So I would love to have you as part of the team. That's going to be it, everybody, for today's Talking Tuesday. Very interesting, very exciting. Get out there and pick a side, because this is the kind of stuff that can't be left alone. Are you with the Pirate King? Are you with the Empire, where you should be? We'll see what happens. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there.